Hey everybody, it's Dave Altavilla for HotHardware.com here with a quick look at the Dell Alienware M18x gaming notebook. This is a big, powerful desktop replacement machine targeted for gamers by Dell's Alienware division. It's based on an 18.4-inch LCD screen with a native resolution of 1920 by 1080, so full 1080p HD display. Has good brightness, contrast, and color uniformity, but it is a glossy display, so you do get a little bit of glare from time to time. But again, very crisp images and very good color reproduction with this display. We're very happy with that for sure. A very large notebook as well, obviously heavy, weighs in at just under 12 pounds, 11.935 pounds to be exact for its starting weight. But under the hood, it's configured a ton of horsepower, second generation Intel Sandy Bridge processor, Intel Core i7 2630QM to be exact, 2 gigahertz base frequency, 2.8 gigahertz turbo boost, and it has 6 meg of on-chip L2 cache on that chip. Also on board in our system is a 6 gig of DDR3 1333 system memory and a 750 gig 7200 RPM hard drive, as well as an 8X Super Multi DVD-RW slot load drive, and gigabit Ethernet, 802.11n wireless, a 9-in-1 flash card reader, 3 megapixel HD video and picture camera with dual digital microphones, and of course USB 2.0 and 3.0 ports, internal Bluetooth 3 as well. All the trimmings in this machine. Let's take you around it, show you what it's made of and how it runs. Now, in terms of graphics horsepower, we actually got 2 machines sent to us, one with a pair of AMD Radeon 6990M mobile graphics chips under the hood in crossfire mode for dual GPU performance, and one with a pair of NVIDIA GeForce GTX 580M mobile graphics processors under the hood for SLI dual GPU performance. These are the top 2 graphics chips from either camp for the mobile space, the fastest graphics processors you can find on the market. We got a pair of them from each camp, AMD and NVIDIA, configured in each machine for head-to-head gaming benchmarking goodness. Now, obviously, due to its size, the M18x has a very roomy and comfortable keyboard area with a full numpad here on the right-hand side. Keycaps are beveled with a flat black finish to them, very comfortable, lots of travel, good tactile response, and a very comfortable typing experience in general with the M18x. Obviously, the keycaps are also backlit, and as you can see, we've got the AlienFX control panel here, software loaded up on screen, and there are 8 zones that you can actually adjust the colors for just by navigating this color wheel and selecting a zone. So we'll select zone 4 here, and let's turn it to red. You can see that that's now changed its color. We'll go to 5, also make that red, and we'll go to 3, make that red, 2, and the last zone here on the left-hand side. Now we have a full red illuminated backlit keyboard, and again, all of the available colors on this color wheel in AlienFX control panel are available to change the colors on the keyboard. So nice feature there. Also up top here, you've got some special function buttons that are backlit as well, and you can change the color scheme for those. You've got things like volume up and down and mute. You've got player controls for media player, play, forward, reverse, rewind, and Wi-Fi control on-off button, and of course the AlienFX control on-off button to enable or disable the AlienFX software. Now, you might be wondering what these backlit and accented grills are in the front here of the M18x, and they're actually speaker grills, believe it or not. Just backlit with a little bit of bling, and as you can hear, the sound quality of the speaker system in the M18x is actually pretty good, and that's a result of obviously this being a larger notebook, and as such, Dell could use larger speaker components in the build and construction of the audio system. We'll give you a listen here real quick. So as you can tell, certainly a louder and better performing speaker system than you'll get in most notebooks. Good mid-range response, but not exactly that thumping bass that you're going to get from a true stereo speaker setup. But for notebook audio, pretty darn good. On the left edge of the machine is a Kensington lock port, gigabit Ethernet port, VGA output, HDMI display port, a pair of USB 3 ports, SPDIF, microphone, and a pair of headphone jacks. On the right edge of the machine is our slot load combo DVD-ROM drive. This is actually an express card slot. Haven't seen one of those in a while. SD card slot, USB 2, eSATA, and this is actually an HDMI input port. And here we are on the back cover of the M18X, and as you can see, we've got that classic illuminated alien head Alienware logo right there up top, looking sharp. Over here you've got a rubberized grip area, a no-slip grip, if you will. Actually kind of nice for holding the notebook in the crux of your hand. And then underneath here, some venting, a little bit more venting along the back side, and of course that DC power input right there. And finally, here we are on the belly of the M18X. The bottom side, and as you can see, lots of venting here for those dual GPUs and the CPU inside this rig. This is a very powerful notebook, obviously, so lots of venting required, and that Intel Core i7 as well as the NVIDIA or AMD GPUs do generate a fair bit of heat underneath here, so definitely a lap warmer, if you will. Custom engraving plate, alien engraving plate that you can have inscribed at the factory with your gamer tag or name, what have you. Here's the battery pack, and this little button here illuminates a battery level indicator, and this is the release right here, and this is actually the battery pack. Fairly large battery. Incidentally, the notebook lasts about an hour untethered in what we would call some light-duty gaming test conditions with a test we run called Battery Eater Pro. We would say that you might get a DVD's worth of untethered power just running on the desktop, for about an hour and a half or so, perhaps under light-duty use, again, viewing a DVD or perhaps browsing the web. Under gaming, though, in a heavy-duty gaming condition, an hour or less untethered. Plug this thing into the wall, that's what it's made for. Desktop replacement machine that it is. And finally, here's a quick look at the M18X doing what it does best. We fired up Metro 2033. This is a DX11 based benchmark and game title, and we've set the resolution to 1920 by 1080. 4x anti-aliasing is turned on, 16x anisotropic filtering, and all the image quality settings are turned up to high. Really impressive visuals in this benchmark, and it is absolutely a GPU buster of a benchmark to be sure. However, we're going to pull down about 54 frames per second in the Crossfire setup, which is actually excellent for this benchmark, and that's with the dual Radeon HD 6990Ms in Crossfire. The dual NVIDIA GeForce GTX 580M SLI setup in the version of the M18X that we tested also pulled in the low 50s in this benchmark as well. Very comparable performance in the graphic subsystems between the two versions of the M18X that we tested. No matter which way you go, AMD or NVIDIA, they traded victories depending on the benchmark or the games that we tested them under. And so very comparable, powerful performance with just about any game or image quality setting that you could throw at them. MSRP for the Crossfire setup, the dual Radeon 6990s, was $2,400 as tested. And the MSRP for the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 580M SLI setup was about $3,100. So a little bit of a price disparity between the two configurations that we tested, to be sure, but a ton of performance under the hood for lots of gaming goodness and fun, sort of on the go in this desktop replacement gaming notebook by Alienware. I'm Dave Altavilla for HotHardware.com. Make sure you stop by our site for the full review with all the benchmark details and analysis. This has been a quick take a look at the Alienware M18X gaming notebook.